What's going on, everybody? Will with Tangible Triumph, life, inspiration, motivation. We're talking about building a strong foundation within the mind today. But first, because I couldn't find her on Monday, it's my little baby. New kitty in the household, and she is awesome. But back to a solid understanding of the mind and what it consists of, and how do you build a strong foundation? So I think we have to understand the literal part of the brain. We carry around a 3.5 pound blob in our head, and this thing has many parts to it. There's 4 that are extremely important, but those are even divided up into different parts as well. So you have your frontal lobe, your brain stem, all of that nitty and gritty terminology that biologists study, and also psychologists. Within your brain and your entire body, actually, you have neurotransmitters, which release chemicals such as serotonin, dopamine, neoadrenaline, and what's the other one? Endorphins. Well, I suggest that your actual mind, your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and your brain are extremely interconnected, because without the brain, you can't have the mind, and without the mind, you can't have a fully functioning brain. If we understand how these mechanisms work, who's to say that we cannot influence a positive impact in the chemicals within the brain that give us the ability to remain happy and regulate how we feel on a day-to-day basis? So it's called CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Look into it if you have time. I'm not going to dive way deep into it, but the overview is that if you can change your pattern of thinking, or if somebody can help change your pattern of thinking, you can change how you feel. With that being said, if you look at everything pessimistically, you're containing that pessimism not only within your body, but within the chemical makeup of your entire body as well. And I'm a firm believer in this. Now, this is where things get controversial. Some scientists say you can't regulate these chemicals. You need medication. Some say you can. And Eastern philosophy, I think, teaches you how to harness those chemicals and bring them up. So if you're remaining in a bad mood, you're not producing these chemicals. But there's something out there that's called meta meditation. Meta meditation means focusing on things such as love, compassion, gratitude, and there's many other things. Check out my blog post from today. I have a link in there that'll take you to a web page that will actually explain it much further than I can in this short amount of time. But if you're allowing these chemicals to, let's say you go into fight or flight, and you're allowing that emotion to take over, and you're not doing some type of controlled breathing, or you understand what your body is going through, you can't withdraw from that, and your body goes into overdrive. The chemicals take over. Now, we have a working brain for a reason, because our mind can control to somewhat of a degree what goes on in the brain. We have to have a deep understanding of the foundation of the brain itself and get a solid grip on what the brain does. Look into it, because when you're promoting positivity, even when it's hard, doing things such as walking through every day, like we focus on things that we can have a positive point of view on, or having an optimistic view besides pessimistic, are harnessing the ability to have awareness of the things that we have control over and the things that we don't. I can mentally control my happiness level throughout the day as long as I recognize the unhappiness and influence a little more happiness. So as Sam Harris would say, a mental smile. Smile at yourself, because when you put a smile on your face, there's a feeling that goes along with that. Stop, think, and observe. Don't let others control how you feel about yourself and what goes on in your everyday life. The outside world has a funny way of convincing you that you don't have control over yourself when you do. You have control over how you feel. You have control over what you do with yourself. You have control over your reactions. If you react to something positively, you'll feel better about yourself. If you act in a negative manner or outside of your character and how you feel you should be, you're going to create a negative environment. Take the challenge today and try and understand the base chemistry of the brain and how it works. Because if you can understand that, you can understand how your brain works in ways that can help you instead of harm you. With that being said, I want you all to have a great week. It's hump day. Let's get through the week. We're all going to be okay. Get out there and smile mentally and physically. Peace, everybody. And don't forget, all rivers lead to the same ocean. Just don't swim upstream.